Alright, so today we're going to be doing an old-fashioned unboxing. Once again, I would like to thank the supporters of the channel. This is a $1,600 monitor, and there's no way in hell that I could actually afford to buy this thing without their support. So once again, thank you. I was able to bring this content to you unbiased, paid with my own money because of the supporters. Now, this is the Samsung Neo G8. Why did I pick this monitor over the Dell OLED? Well, the OLED, I feel like the first generation OLEDs kind of have a few too many drawbacks for me that I don't like the pixel layout, plus also the wide screens. Widescreen is kind of a deal breaker for me, just because I don't want to have to deal with widescreen support in a lot of my games, right? This monitor is just a standard 16 by 9, and that's kind of why I chose it. It's just plug and play. I don't have to dick around with anything, right? No widescreen, no burn-in issues. But that being said, there's kind of no content on this monitor yet. I don't think Hub Steve has it. So we're kind of going into this blind. So with that being said, this is going to be more of a opinion piece. I don't have any scientific tools to actually test this thing properly. It's basically my eyes are going to be my tool for this video. I trust my eyes more than anything. If I see something wrong with the display itself, my eyes will pick it up right away, because I don't know, I guess I just won the genetic lottery when it comes to vision and gaming displays, okay? So again, if you're looking for scientific data, you're going to have to wait for Hub Tim to get it. Other than that, I'm just going to give you my first impressions of this display when we go plug it in. This thing is like a TV from how gigantic it is. And you guys know me, longtime viewers of mine know that I am not a fan of large monitors when it comes to esports. But for single-player games, I feel like it's just fine. I play a lot of single-player games on my OLED TV in the living room. So I'll basically be comparing this display against an LG OLED TV, right? I know it's not an OLED, but if we can actually get around 200 FPS and 4K, maybe it might be comparable, right? So it looks like this is the bottom here. I might actually have to go, oh man, that looks nice. I might have to zoom in on that. This is just like straight up porn for me, guys. Seriously, to all the supporters of the channel, I know I thanked you already, but man, I'm living the dream right now. The fact that I can buy a $1,600 screen, man, I'm just so blessed and appreciative of the supporters of the channel, man. I know I harp on it a lot, but you guys don't know how much this means to me, like legitimately. This is like, I'm a guy in a shack, right? So I'm not going to bother reading the instructions on this and how to assemble it, because what man reads instructions? Just YOLO that shit. So it does come with a Visa mount, it looks like, but... Oh, is this working? Oh, yeah, it is. So it looks like this screws right in. Oh, wait a minute. You know, from how large and heavy looking this monitor is, I'm not sure if I'm down with these 4 little dinky screws holding the entire thing up. Not going to lie. I feel like they could have done like 6 screws or something a little beefier, but it looks kind of flimsy, but I mean, they are the engineers, so I gotta trust that shit. All right, and then now the feet. Again, this kind of feels flimsy. It's aluminum, but man, this is good. Like, I feel like I could bend this with my arms, right? Like with my Arnold arms. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I think they could have done a better job with that. Okay, so that's it. There's no more pieces. That was a really simple assembly. 1, 2, 3, lock, done. Okay, so let's take this bad boy out of the box now. Oh yeah, she's a heavy girl. She's a big girl. Oh man, that is beautiful. Oh. Yeah, I can actually tell right away. Look how flimsy this thing is. Right? Okay, yeah, like, I mean, it's not a deal breaker when it's on the desk, but yeah, check that out. You can tell right away that the legs and stand, they were, yeah, I don't like that at all. I might actually, I might actually just wall mount it or use a custom leg because this is a little too flimsy for me. Okay, so I tried to set this up as best as I could with the camera here, right? But the thing is, this screen is so bright, it's actually hard to get the proper exposure with the camera, even though it's set on auto. So you're gonna see it kind of going darker and lighter as I change the scenes here, right? But this is kind of the best that I could do to show you guys the quality of this thing. So I am using the supplied cable that came with the monitor, just the DisplayPort one. It had like a little 8K badge on it. Now when you plug it in, it only supported 120 hertz. You go into the OSD here, and then you change it to 240 hertz, and it picked it right up, no problem. Went to NVIDIA control panel here, and yeah, it says 4K, 240 hertz, no problem. Even scrolled down here and manually changed it to 10-bit. And no problem whatsoever. Like, I thought maybe I would have to use HDMI 2.1 to get this to work, but no, DisplayPort works just fine. If you go to the G-Sync tab over here, it does support G-Sync and G-Sync compatible. It says this display has not been validated as G-Sync. So what we're going to do is we're going to test to see if any screen tearing happens here. We're going to see if there's any scan lines, any kind of problems, any issues, things of that nature. So let's start first by going into Overwatch and seeing if the G-Sync works. So I'm using a 3090 Ti to play this, so I should be able to do 240 FPS in 4K. Let's just go to practice mode. I don't even know how, to be honest. Oh, over here. Training mode. Now, this monitor, I know I can see the preview of what I'm recording over there on the workstation over there, right? And I can see that you guys can see the local dimming much better because the camera's kind of on like a 30-degree angle doing this. And unless you're like, hard to explain, you guys can see things that I can't see, and I can see things that you can't see, basically. So if you get this monitor, it does not work very well for viewing angles. Head straight on only. Let's pick whatever. Let's pick some tracer here. And yeah, so you can see the frames are locked at 239 to get the G-Sync going. And yeah, zero tearing or stuttering. In terms of speed, yeah, in terms of speed here, I would say it's very close to my 360 hertz, but not quite there. Well, okay, so here's the thing. This screen is so large that you wouldn't be able to play competitively on it anyway, but I would say the pixel response time of this is very, very quick. Like this 240 hertz is almost as fast as my 360 hertz 1080p screen, right? And G-Sync seems to work just fine. Like, G-Sync seems to work perfectly on this screen. I see no tearing, no stuttering, no dipping, nothing of the sort. It is working flawlessly. Let's see if that was actually in 4K here. Yeah, 4K, 240 hertz here. G-Sync is off. Yeah, so G-Sync is a thumbs up. Works 100%. Now, let's go try Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is 240 FPS, right? So obviously it's going to be fast. Let's go try Tomb Raider benchmark. See if there's any screen tearing in that. Okay, so these are the settings I'm going to use for Shadow of the Tomb Raider here. 4K, no DLSS. Now, HDR, I've tried HDR on this monitor, and I've tried it on the OLED, and I cannot tell the difference at all. I guess my eyes just don't see HDR, or I don't know what I'm looking for, to be honest. Like, when I turn HDR on, actually, let's run the benchmark here, and I'll show you. When I turn HDR on, the little blue bulbs in the back are a little brighter, and that's the only difference that I can see. And then the drawback being that it looks like complete ass in Windows, right? So I always just turn that shit off, right? So we got 135, 140 FPS in 4K right now. Yeah, these blue lights back here are brighter. I mean, it looks bright as shit from your angle, but from my angle, it's not that bright, right? But they're brighter with HDR. That's the only difference that I can see. So I leave that shit off. I don't care about the HDR. But I do have local array dimming set to maximum on the screen itself, so it will reduce the blacks, and it looks incredible, I must say. You'll see it in Elden Ring when we do Elden Ring next, but yeah, this right now, 130, 140 FPS, zero stuttering at all. Zero tearing, zero stuttering. So G-Sync seems to work very, very well. 240 hertz mode and 120 hertz-ish, around there. G-Sync is working just great. That variable overdrive is working just great so far. Actually, if you just saw that, I did notice this display, when using full screen mode, it does seem to lose its handshake once in a while. I'm not sure if that's a firmware thing or what. So when you're actually in the game, it's totally fine. But when you exit the game, it loses its handshake and has to reinitialize, right? That is not a deal breaker by any means. It's just something I did notice. Yeah, the picture looks way too exposed for you guys, but I must say the graphics are absolutely stunning. Like, it's actually stunning. Samsung nailed this out of the park. Like, when it comes to brightness, HDR performance, even though it's not a G-Sync display, it's working with G-Sync flawlessly. It's let's see here. So this is actually quite blurry because it's 60 FPS. But yeah, no tearing at all. I do see a little bit of ghosting on that rock in the back, though. Just like, yeah, just a smidge, but it's not like, I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up. It's not like you would notice that unless you were actually looking for it, right? So I guess the variable refresh rate at 60 FPS isn't as good as 120 and 240. But I mean, again, who the hell plays at 60 FPS, right? Anyone buying this monitor is probably going to have a 3090 Ti, right? So you're going to be good at 120 hertz in all your games, right? So actually, if you look at the loading screen here, from your guys' angle on that 30-degree angle, you can see the local dimming zones much better than I can. So on your guys' camera here, you can see the halo effect right here on the bottom here. And over here, you can oh, look at that. Look at the mouse, right? Look at that. So I hit a dimming zone right here and then off here, right? So I don't see that, though. If I'm looking at the display like this, I can't see that. But for some reason, this camera is picking it up, which is super weird. Look at that. Yeah. This to me is very, very close to OLED, right? So, like, even though on the camera I can see the little halo around the mouse, I can't see it if I'm looking at the monitor straight on. So that's just something you'll have to take my word for. Like, for some reason, the camera is picking that up really well, where my eyes are not seeing that, right? The next thing we're going to check, let's see if there's any kind of scanline issue here. Just put a white page. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, no, I don't see anything here. Yeah, I've heard of scanline issues, but I literally don't have anything on mine whatsoever. It seems like the camera is picking up something over on the right here, but I think that's just the angle of the curve, right? And from how bright the exposure is from the screen right now. Let's change it over to black. Yeah, it's absolutely flawless. Yeah. This is like, I don't know what to say, man. This display is incredible. Look at the black. I mean, again, you guys can't see what I can see, but man, black and white contrast ratio is insane. Like, actually insane. So, but again, it is what it is. You can't really record what the monitor is. You just have to kind of buy it and check it out for yourself, right? But this is the nicest monitor I've ever seen by far, and I don't say that lightly. I've seen a lot of monitors, but this is something else. This G8 is something else. So anyway, I've been playing with this monitor for a few hours now. I don't know what else to say, really. It nails it out of the park, and like it's like a 9.5 out of 10, I would say. Well, maybe like a 9 out of 10. So 240 hertz works perfectly. 10-bit HDR 4K 240 hertz works perfectly. It works with a DisplayPort cable. The only bug that I've been able to find is that unpairing issue that happens when you go from a full screen game, exclusive full screen, and then out of exclusive full screen, it like kind of de-handshakes, right? That means absolutely nothing, though. It's just a bug, right? The screen is definitely too big to be played with any esport. Seriously, I want to say, like, this thing is gigantic. Like, the 32-inch is way too big to play, right? That being said, for single-player controller-style games, Horizon Zero Dawn, Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, this is an end-game monitor. Like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for the last, like, 3 or 4 years. I finally have, like, this is the end game. All the gaming that I'm going to do, single player games, I'm going to go back into my Steam library and catch up on all my games on this thing now. It's that good. Now, here's the other thing, right? My buddy, Graphically Challenged, he does have the scanline issue, right? I could have just gotten a really good sample. Like Samsung is known to have extremely poor quality control issues, right? Some displays will work fine, some won't, some need firmware, some don't. Like, it seems like a cluster of what quality you're gonna get, right? But the sample that I have here is absolutely flawless. So that's all I can judge it on, right? Is my one display is my dream display. Samsung nailed it completely out of the park here. As for the curve, that's up to you, really. I love the curve, personally, because 27-inch and 32-inch monitors are far too large for me to actually enjoy unless they're curved. Because the curve makes it so it's less eye-wandering, if you know what I mean. It's less egregious for my eye to have to look in every single corner every 2 seconds, right? When it's curved, I can kind of see the whole picture without having to move my eyes around, right? So I love the curve, but that's more personal perspective, if you like it or not. So long story short, I'm definitely keeping this display. This is my new single-player goated display. It's not too far behind OLED, and it's so much more convenient than playing on a 65-inch TV. That always bothered the shit out of me. I want to sit at a desk, and I want to play a single-player game. I don't want to have to go set up an entire TV station just to play single-player games, right? So I'm keeping it. I'm super happy with it. I'll keep you guys posted in the Discord if I encounter any bugs in the future. But with that being said, if you like the content, hit that subscribe button, do all that YouTube SEO stuff, like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you have a G8 or if you're looking for a G8. I would still suggest waiting for Hardware Unboxed Tim's video, but from my perspective, Samsung killed it with this thing. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later.